Have you ever hired a marketing agency, poured your budget into their hands, and then just kind of wondered where all that money actually went? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the marketing agency world, and honestly, what you're about to see might just shock you. Look at this number, 90%. Industry research suggests this is the percentage of marketing agencies that are, for all intents and purposes, wasting their clients' money. 90%. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't about a few bad apples. We're talking about a systemic, industry-wide problem. So you have to ask, how did we get here? How on earth did we end up in a situation where the vast majority of marketing agencies are just failing their clients? That's the big question we're going to tackle right now. And look, this isn't just a hunch. Data from HubSpot shows that a staggering 2/3 of businesses are actively dissatisfied with their agency's performance. Think about that. Dissatisfaction isn't the exception. For most clients, it's the norm. Okay, so the multi-million-dollar question is, how is this happening? Where is all that money going? Well, let's crack open that agency black box and expose the 8 most common ways your marketing budget gets burned to the ground with absolutely nothing to show for it. This right here. This is probably the oldest trick in the book. Agencies absolutely love to celebrate what we call vanity metrics. These are numbers that look fantastic on a report. Impressions, website traffic, clicks. But they have zero, and I mean zero, connection to what actually matters to your business: sales and qualified leads. It's nothing more than strategic misdirection. And don't just take my word for it. A demand gen report found that almost 3/4 of B2B marketers believe their agencies are focused on the wrong things entirely. So what does that mean? It means they're optimizing for metrics that make them look busy, not for results that actually make you money. The second huge problem is a complete and total lack of transparency. Here's how it usually works. You send them your money, and a month later, a pretty, glossy PDF report comes out. You don't get real-time access, you can't see the ad accounts, nothing. And let me be clear, this opacity is almost always intentional. It's how they protect themselves from any real accountability. And this table perfectly illustrates where your money really goes. Hidden fees and markups are absolutely everywhere. An agency might charge you a 20% markup on ad spend. So for every 100 rupees you think you're spending on ads, they're just pocketing 20. Same thing for software and tools. They buy them cheap and then sell them to you at a massive premium. Now let's see how this all connects, because a huge piece of the puzzle is how these agencies bill you. The 2 most common models create completely backward incentives. With a monthly retainer, they get paid whether you succeed or fail. It doesn't matter. With the percentage of ad spend model, their only real incentive is to convince you to spend more and more money, not to make that spending more effective. Either way, their interests aren't aligned with yours. And what happens when things inevitably go sideways? Oh, you get the classic playbook of excuses. They'll blame Google's algorithm, they'll blame the time of year, they might even blame your own product. This total lack of ownership means there is zero accountability for failure. They're getting paid for effort, not for results. Okay, all this might sound abstract, so let's look at a quick, real-world case study that shows just how devastating this can be for a business. This is a story about a mid-sized software company that fell right into this agency trap. In just 3 months, they spent 58,65,000 rupees on agency fees and ad campaigns. I mean, that's a budget that could have funded a small product team for an entire year. And for all that money, what did they get? Out of the hundreds of so-called leads the agency generated, they closed exactly 2 deals. Just 2. So if you do the math, that means the effective cost to acquire each of those 2 customers was a mind-blowing 1,46,62,500 rupees. To put that into perspective, they could have bought a luxury apartment in a major city for the cost of acquiring 1 single customer. This isn't just waste, it's a catastrophic failure of investment. All right, so now that we know just how bad the problem is, how do you protect yourself? Let's walk through a really simple but powerful framework to help you spot a bad agency before they ever get a chance to touch your money. First up, you have to analyze their sales pitch. Listen for promises that sound way too good to be true because, they are. If anyone guarantees you a #1 ranking on Google, they're either clueless or they're lying. If they talk more about the awards on their shelf than your bottom line, their priorities are all wrong. And maybe the biggest red flag of all? Vagueness. If they can't clearly define success with specific business KPIs, you need to walk away. Fast. Next, you have to scrutinize the paperwork. This is where the truth really comes out. Be extremely wary of long lock-in periods. A confident agency doesn't need to trap you in a 12-month contract. Question every single vague line item like platform fees. And this is critical. Make sure the contract explicitly states that you, not the agency, own all of your data, your ad accounts, and your creative assets. That is completely non-negotiable. Now, the good news in all of this is that there is a much, much better way. The solution is to completely shift your mindset. Stop looking to hire a vendor and start looking to find a true partner. This is the real turning point. And this slide really says it all, contrasting the two worlds. The old agency model thrives in the dark. It's built on opacity, vanity metrics, and fixed retainers that guarantee them a paycheck no matter what. But the modern partner model, it's fundamentally different. It's built on radical transparency, where you see everything they see in real time. It's measured by real business results, like return on investment and customer acquisition cost, not fluff. And the billing is tied directly to performance, which means their success is financially linked to yours. This isn't a vendor you hire. It's an aligned partner sitting on the same side of the table, sharing in both the risks and the rewards. So, how do you make this a reality for your business? Here is your actionable checklist to protect your marketing budget and make sure you find a real partner, not just another vendor burning through your cash. Here's your 4-step playbook. It's simple. 1. Demand full transparency. That means real-time dashboard access to your own accounts, not some curated PDF report. 2. Define performance in the contract. Don't just talk about goals, write them down as specific KPIs and financial milestones. 3. When you check their references, go deeper than, are they nice people? Ask the hard questions. What was your ROI? By how much did your customer acquisition cost go down? And 4, negotiate short initial terms. A 3-month trial is perfect. It forces them to prove their value early, and it gives you an easy out if they don't deliver. And one final, really important warning. If you're already in a bad agency relationship, please do not fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Just because you've already spent a fortune doesn't mean you should throw good money after bad. Know when to cut your losses and move on. It's always the smart business decision. So, at the end of the day, the most crucial thing is to reframe your thinking. Hiring a marketing partner isn't just another line item expense, it's a capital investment. And just like any good investment, you should absolutely expect and be able to measure a positive return. And that really brings us to the final question you should be asking yourself tonight. When you look at your marketing reports, when you look at your profit and loss statement, is your marketing a true investment that's actually growing your business, or is it just another expense that's draining your budget? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know.